Hello guys, so let me show you how I make my coconut muffins. These are delicious, yeah. Especially if you're like me and you like to chew coconuts when you eat a cake. And like when it's a coconut cake, I like to really have the coconutty part so it can be really chewy. So for these muffins, I like to top them with coconuts, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make my coconut muffins. Yes. It's very easy and very straight to the point. In 10 minutes you have really nice tasty muffins for the weekend or whatever party you want to do or whatever. So let's get started. So for this, we're going to be needing 125 grams of butter, and then we are going to put it in our mixer. And then to that, you want to make sure it's softened because that way it makes it a lot easier. And then you want to whip that for about 5 to 10 minutes before you add your sugar, and we're going to be adding 1/3 of a cup of sugar to that. And then you want to whip it really well until it is pale and white. Yeah, so today we're using the creaming method, and it makes this cake really fluffy and really nice. Okay, so for this recipe, yeah, it's really simple and really easy. This is a cake that can make, for this recipe, if I was going to make a 6-inch cake, I multiply by 3. If I'm going to make an 8-inch cake, I multiply by 4. This particular recipe, and that way it gives you a lot of volume and your cake is really tall and really nice, whatever size you're trying to make. So for 6 inches, multiply by 3. For 8, multiply by 4. Anyway, so for this, I'm going to be adding 2 eggs once I like the consistency, and then you want to really whip it. If you notice, I'm making a lot of batter in my mixer right now, and that's because I multiplied it by 4 because I'm trying to make a cake with it. But anyways, we're going to make our cupcakes out of it as well. So in a separate bowl, you want to sieve out 1 cup of flour, and to that you want to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and some salt. Yeah, if you're using salted butter, don't add any salt, but if you're using unsalted butter, make sure to add some salt. So, and remember to sieve your flour because that makes a huge difference in the texture of your cake. Okay, so once you're done sieving and your mixture is good to go, like it is fluffy enough and it is well mixed, you want to stop your mixer. But before then, we want to add in 50 grams of coconut, desiccated coconut. So I love coconut, yeah, and this, like, it's like a ratio of 1 to 2, like a ratio of coconut to 2 ratio of flour. Yeah, that way you have a lot of coconut in your batter, and we're still going to top it with coconut because we want it to be really coconutty. Anyway, so moving on, yeah, our mixture is good to go. So I'm going to stop it because I like to fold my dry ingredients into my mixture by hand, because that way you don't like run the risk of over mixing. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to pour it inside and we are going to fold. And to this recipe, you're going to be needing some milk, and in this case I'm using buttermilk because I like to use buttermilk when like my cake has an acidic content. So we're just going to be using 2 tablespoonfuls of buttermilk, and then we are going to stir, and make sure you don't over stir so you don't like make your cake tough and everything. And that's all she wrote, guys. This cake is so easy to make. So once you're stirring your buttermilk into your cake, you just want to put in your piping bag. I don't like to portion batter with an ice cream scoop. I like to use a piping bag because that way you can control like how much you put, a lot more than if you were using a scoop. Yeah, and it's a lot neater. So you just put in your piping bag and then like pipe into your muffin cups, and then we're going to bake. Make sure to preheat your oven for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and you want to bake at a temperature of 160 degrees. I always say don't bake at 180, bake at 160. It's the best temperature for baking because that way your cake gets to bake slowly and nicely. Yeah, where you rush into anyways. So now we're going to pipe our coconut batter into our muffin cups, and you don't want to overfill your muffin cups because you don't want it to spill over because nobody wants a mess. Yeah. So when this is done, you want to pop it into the oven for like 15 to 22 minutes. Yeah, depending on how like your oven, if it's a convection oven or a conduction oven, whatever kind of oven you use, just make sure it's at least 15 minutes. Then you go check it after 15 minutes. So once we put the batter, we just want to top with some coconut, just sprinkle some on top. You don't have to measure, to your heart desires, and then we're going to bake. Yay! Okay, so pop it in the oven and be back in 15 minutes to check it. Make sure to set the timer so you don't forget your muffins in the oven. Okay, this was after like 22 minutes. It was ready and it was delicious. See how gorgeous. And the coconut on top like kind of browns up, so it is really pretty. So this is what you have, and it is delicious, guys. Thank you so much for always watching my videos, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye.